Be even better if I turn the microphone on. Good afternoon. Welcome. I haven't got an intro. I'll just repeat all that. I haven't got an intro because I haven't got any music. I put it on the other channel. Let's have a look. I don't know if I can find a... I need a nick warning from somewhere. See if I can find one. Image. UK browse. I think it's in pictures, to be honest. Well, this is a bit informal, isn't it? I managed to Google one live on the air. Stephen Dawson, how you doing? Nice to see you. I could put that on for a laugh. Here's one for you. Marlborough, you're going to die anyway. Here we are. But it doesn't stop you being able to buy them, does it, really? Marlborough, you're going to die anyway. Let me see if I can find a nick warning. I can have a vape. Because they can get really moody about this vaping thing, can't they? Hang on. I've got loads of them somewhere. Image. I've just been doing some re-wicking and I just thought, well, I'll go and talk to some vapey people. God, I don't know where it is now. Here we go. Here's one. That'll do. Put that underneath the Marlboroughs. Be a good advert for them, wouldn't it? Really. How you doing anyway, Stephen? Nice to see you. Thank you very much for popping in. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. Just thought I'd just pop in. Put a video up on here. Or I'd put a live stream up on here. There we are. Put it over there. How are you doing, Stephen? Are you all right? So I've just re-wicked my San AIO. I've had one of them mornings this morning. Bought this this tank off one of Blumpkin's bargains. I don't know what's happening with that. It's obviously seen something better than me. I wonder if it's that... Where are we? There's a photograph of me somewhere. I don't know if it's picking that up instead. There we go. It's finally going to have a look at it. If I can remember the name of it, I'll tell you what it is. I ended up with two. I've got the mouth-to-lung version downstairs, and this is the like direct-to-look version. It's nice. It's a good tank. And he sent me that. He said, I'm going to send you something nice, which has never been used before. So he sent me that, which is the Aspire Paradox. And I thought, what on earth's that then? Anyway, you take the front of it off like this. It's magnetic. It just comes off. Especially if you've got fingernails. Underneath, that's where all the bits are. But that other piece comes over the top, and it uses it as a fire button. It's cracking, isn't it? I love stuff like this. That's about 35 watts, I think. I've put a 0.3 coil in from CC Coils, one of the sort of Burrow aliens. And it vapes nice, though, to be honest. The sand's got the same, it's actually got the same juice and the same coil in it as well. This is the one Mike bought me at Expo. I hadn't wicked it for ages, so I've just done it. It was a bit gunky, so I've had to wash it all out. To be honest, that's what I do. When I was at Expo, I bought this. the overpowered stacked. I was talking to Vinny at the vape show. I don't know if you've ever seen Vinny at the vape show. He came on with us a few times when we were going live. So it's the overpowered stacked, and I got the RDA with it. I bought it at Expo. They were 60 quid a piece. And he said, I said, oh, I bought an overpowered stacked at Expo. He says, God, I've always wanted one of them. I said, well, I'll sell you it. Because it's been stood there since the day after I came home. But it's the full kit. If you want one, proper coils have got them on his site. Obviously, if you're mouth to lung, you probably won't. So I said, yeah, you can have it. I'll just sell you it for what I bought it for. So he's got a free coil in there. That's nice, though. It's a good device. That I've never had the urge to get a borrow device. It's got the something 2 tank in it. Can't think what it's called now. As you can tell, my memory's shit. But I've just re-wicked it. Just put some fresh juice in there. Full battery. Molly cell, them little 18650 mollies. I need to get some more batteries because you don't realise until you get devices like this, you put your old stuff in there and they don't charge up fully anymore. They're only like 3/4 full when they're supposed to be full. But a decent coil, then. I think the Claptons, to be honest, of the aliens. I'll show you them because they're here. But since I got high blood pressure, I don't really fancy all that hot steam in me, to be honest. The Bora Aliens 0.35s. I think you can get a discount if you use Benny's code as well. And some free battery wraps. So I bought them before. Ah, yeah, because the battery wraps are in here. Look. ODB wraps. Nice. I think maybe a lot of people seem to have changed. Don't we? When we first did it, you used to, like, especially with like little pod systems and that, the coil, the flavour that comes out of them coils, out of them Vapresso things and that, you don't really need to get a massive cloud on, do you? Really, it just sticks all your windows up in your house. But I mean, that 35 watts, just a little Bora tank, that 0.35 alien in there. Perfectly good cloud in it, really. Even that gets a bit cloudy. I bought, I've got this. Have you seen this? I don't know if you've seen this. It's U-Mods. It's that carbon fibre. I bought that off Matt Waits at Expo. That's a nice device. And that's the Nola tank in there. Another mouth to lung one. Another one of Blumpkin's bargains. I don't know about Benny's bargains, really. Blumpkin's bargains. John Paul Glasgow, how are you doing? Just thought we'd go live on here and talk about vaping for a bit. So that's a nice device. I've also got the actual, this isn't a fake, this one. That's the Tripod 2 tank. In the shorter mode, there's a way of making it bigger glass and that sort of thing. And that's on one of them proper Danny Minis. But I've got the Ed Balance version of that Danny as well. Not a patch on that, obviously. That's a nice device. But that's what I tend to do now most of the time, just mouth to lung. Yeah, a few rips on the goon. Yeah. I haven't even polished the mechs up for ages. They're stood here. So that's why I'm going to let that go, because it's only going to stand there gaining dust. And if Vinny wants one, he might as well have it. Because I've yeah, it is, yeah. It's a beautiful device, that. And it really fits in the hand nice. The Nola tank's not the most amazing in the world, and it doesn't really want to be in there, to be fair. But it's not a bad tank. It's the airflow. If you watch Todd's review on it, this one, it was very expensive when they were new. I didn't pay. I paid a fraction for it, and he made me watch the video before he'd send me it, because he wasn't at all impressed with it. The airflow is a bit notchy sometimes, a bit. But it's really well made and put together, but they just didn't do a very good job of the airflow, I think. Where you originally started following me, what? Because on the vape thing, you mean? because I vape mechs. Now you're following me about trudging around the world. I just thought I'd have a bit of a go on here. I hadn't done it for ages. Never been on here. Well, the last thing I did on here was May when I was at the expo. But put a little video on when I came back as well. It's just nice to talk about the old things, isn't it? I've never used that. I've got a. Oh dear, this squonk. Bought this at Expo, put it together when I got home, found out you could get a 21700. Never used it since. It's crazy, isn't it, really? Just keep buying stuff and then not using it. That's one of what you call him, the, you know, my memory shit. I can't remember bugger all. I don't know whether I'm getting gaga or what, just old age, but that's a nice device. I bought that RDA there as well. It'll just be, see, it's stuck. It wants washing to get it off. Crazy. I'll put it down there. But my daily thing is this. Sorry if you've got headphones on. I vape these day in, day out, all day, every day. It's like between a mouth to lung and a reduced mouth to lung, just on the edge. I vape it 23 watts. There's a point. I've still got proper coils aliens in these. Lovely crackle, beautiful flavour, gorgeous. I've got onyx in that. Do you turn the sounds behind you round on the other channel? They are readable today. Well, there's a reason for that. On OBS, you can mirror your background. So I'm actually holding my left arm up now. I'm holding my right hand up now. So that's the reason you can do it, but you can't do it on the phone. You could show a build on the Albrecht V2 at some stage, because sometimes I can wick it really well and others not so good. Well, we're all a bit the same with that one, to be honest. It's a tricky wick, even when you've had them for a long time, if you just don't, you know. But the secret is with them, I actually use cotton bacon for them. Now, I've got different sorts of cotton in here, and I always go on about cotton bacon and this, that, and the other. But for wicking an Albrecht, they're perfect. And you get the cotton thicker. You need more. You need more cotton than what you think you do for an Albrecht. And you put it through, and to stop it dry hitting, you go like that through the coils and make it so they'll fit in the coils, but then you end up with a couple of fluffy bits on the outside. And you only want it to go to the bottom of that juice well. And you don't actually fluff it out. What you do is you get your tweezers and you just separate it. Because, I mean, the thing is with cotton bacon, it comes pretty stuck together anyway. Hello, Matt Polly. How you doing, mate? Nice to see you. It's pretty stuck together anyway. So all you literally do is you just separate the cotton to make sure that the juice goes through. I vape with 50-50 juice anyway, so it comes through pretty easy. I could actually show you if you want. I ain't got any cotton bacon up here, though. We could use 13 feet if you want. I'll show you how I do it. I might just have to walk off and just wash the tank out, though, because it's been stood here for a while, to be honest. So you'll have to excuse me if I disappear, but it's not a very formal show, is it, really? Yeah, that's the reason. You can mirror your image on OBS. We're actually on OBS now with a computer, where I normally go live on my phone, you see, on the other thing. Reason being, it gets you into the shorts feed and the vertical live feed, and it attracts more people to the feed, to the stream, because obviously that channel's only got 300 subscribers on it. Oh, I still have the earring off. These were new, you know. I bought them from China. I might be able to get away without washing that out just for the purpose of this. Don't judge me, though. Oh, don't do that. The earring stuck to the bottom of the tank. Look. Little shizer. Hope I don't rip it. No, it's come off. organised. I've got this desk. I've got that much storage in here, and I've still got a desk full of crap. So, well, not crap. Got actually good stuff. I'll just show you how I do it. And I learnt off. What do they call the? I was going to say foreign guys. Is that rude? Can't think what they're calling now. Net Vapor. That's who it is. He showed me how to do it, and obviously when you do that, you also put your own swing on it. But it's just how I found to do it. But I vape from day in, day out. If you're vaping Onyx in it, to be honest, you only get 2 days out of it. So I've had plenty of practice because it's got quite a lot of sweetener in it. Always watch out and all with these. Sometimes even if you rinse them out, you'll end up with, especially if you're using a real sweet juice. I couldn't work out what it was. I kept washing these out, washing them out. And there was actually like sugar, off the juice stuck halfway down there. And it was only one night when I looked, I thought, it's not a very big hole in there. And then when I poked something down it, but I say as far as I knew, I'd been washing it out properly. But it didn't really work out. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it now. Let's see if we can get the cameras to work. It's nice to do all sorts of things, isn't it? But I do enjoy talking on it. I can show you now what that thing is, John Paul. That's the thing that fits in the bottom of the phone to turn it into an iPhone microphone. Because the other one's Type-C, so I had to buy that one. Right, let's have a look, see if I can actually find a bit of a path. You ought to be the biggest balls up ever. Move some stuff about. I wasn't really planning for this. Right, let's have a look, see if I can get it to work. It's all right, we don't charge. Right, see if I can. Is going to be the camera going to come on? It's on the top. Right, click on that. Oh, it's on. To move me over there because I've got Marlboro Man on. Just remember, Marlboro, you're going to die anyway. I'm not showing you a big picture of me nuts. There's my sand nut. It's cool, isn't it? So what I'll do, I'll just do it on this one. I get that used to doing it. Right. That's a bit washed out, isn't it? Is it going to focus? May well do at some point. I don't think it's right, is it? Exposure. It needs to be brighter. There we go. It's only a book reader. Tell you what, you don't need a new face. Tighter than a mouth to lung chuff. 13 feet available off Amazon for about 11 quid for a bag full like that. So it's not my usual choice for doing this, but we'll have a go with it anyway. This is what you get, look. I don't know if anybody's ever used it. Somebody's bound to pop in and go, yeah, I use Muji. Chop a leg off. So we're making haggis, isn't it? White haggis. New phrase. Tighter than a mouth to lungs chuff. I should have my sunglasses on for this because I am a vaping god. So, I've done this for a while, have I? Christ. This has been stood for a little while, to be fair. Isn't it funny why when you first, I'll even show you what I'm doing. When you first start doing all this, you've got every set of tweezers there is. And in the end, you just pull the cotton out with a pair of scissors, don't you? Just fire her up. Right, I'm just going to rinse this off. Give me 1 second. This microphone sounds better, doesn't it? I actually fine-tuned it the other week. I had it set a bit low. I noticed I was on Benny's show and it was a bit low, so I sat there and recorded my own voice and kept playing it back and got it so that just before it peaked out. So obviously you need to get this dried up. I can't remember where I got these tanks from. I did say on Benny's show, if you look when I first got them, they came from China. They took 3 or 4 weeks to come, but they were 20 quid a piece. I think that's all they were. Here we go. Just shine her up. What we're telling me, I've been pretty solidly on a Caliburn G3 for almost a year, but I use my Muji for rebuildables. Still £5 for 2 years worth it. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I bought some is that what's the wrong way to open it? This at Expo off Coles Bascott. I bought 2 cans. Sometimes it just depends though. You know, it depends what you're actually doing. If you're doing a mouth to lung RTA, this stuff's perfect because it's already separated. You can tell I haven't done it for a while. It's sort of already separated, whereas a lot of the cotton bacon comes and it's been packed in the Amazon bags. And it's a bit tightly packed. So you want about half of that. I think you want a bit less than half. It's a bit washed out, that. We turn you down a bit. So it is only a book reader. But it's shining on the table, I think. Do you want about that much? Go for that. That's it. Just roll it up as normal. Hang on. Can't believe I've never done a video about this. I deleted most of the videos, to be fair. So, make it tight at the end. Push it through like that. So that's a little bit tight. So what I do is I work it like that. So it's not going to dry it on the coils. That leaves you with that. The way you want to cut it off is there. So level with that bit. Straight off there. You can always take a bit more off afterwards, but you can't stick it back on. So I go to there. Now what I do then, I always, let me just put this down. As I say, I don't get my tweezers and rake it out because I'm using 50-50 juice. But if you look, it'll just separate on its own. This stuff especially will separate on its own, but even cotton bacon, you have to prod it a bit with your tweezers. And that's all you want, really. But you can always take a little bit off, you know, pull it back in that way. That's why I always do one each side. I'll find my tweezers in a minute. These were just off Amazon. I've had them years. I'm on about the last pair now. They all bend up at the end in the end. I don't know if you can see it. See if it'll do it. They all go a bit like that in the end, even though you're not doing a lot with them. And then all you want to do then is just put that down there like that. But you only actually really want it. You don't want it curled up. It's having a right old job today. It's focusing. See if I can get it to do it. It's reacting off that white. Hang on. That's no good, is it? Fucking thing. I think what I used to do, to be honest, this is probably why I use this. Right, try again. Oh, it's a bit dusty. Forgive me. It's been stood there for months. Bit of vape dust on it. Right, has that done it? That's better. It was focusing on the lines on the table. So we'll just turn it up a little bit now. Right, so all you want it to do is to go down at the bottom of that juice well there. That's as far as you want to go. Just like that. And it needs to be about like that. I think sometimes you put in, I know that's what I did for a start. You put in the cotton in to go through the coils, but you need more when it gets to the other side. Yeah, she did. Net Vapor did a couple of videos on this because people were saying that they couldn't wick it. So I've had them that long. I just do it all the time anyway. So. All right, just fire a bit off the edge of that. Even now I'll do it though, and it's not right, and I have to do it again. But say all I do is just separate the cotton just like that, because it's 50-50 juice. I'm not using 70-30, so it doesn't need to be fanned out. And again, that just fits into there, look, just down to the bottom. And it'll look like that in the end. And then you want to, I don't know what juice this has got in it. Might have something different in a minute. Let's look. Put some of this in. And then wet the cotton and shove it in with the end of your nib. And it'll look like that. Obviously, I ain't cleaned the tank out because I'm it's just a re-wick just for your benefit, but shove that over the top and it should look like that. And you can tell what it's going to vape like by just simply vaping on that bit. Obviously, hold the top down. If you just hold the top down, because it's going to be clamped, and then it'll look like that. And just pop it back together. It always wants to clean up in there. Chunkmeister, how you doing? Nice to see you. To see you nice. Fill her up. This is probably completely the wrong juice, and I'll have to do it again in a minute. Thing is, your mouth too long. When you're using your own juice, the flavours are. You can vape out really, can't you? If you know what I mean. It's not like putting it on a stack mech and getting it red hot. Where's that bloody... I've lost the drip tip. Nice. Let's see it. Get that clean while we're here. Pop her in the top. The job's a good one. Move that round. Move that round. We can't get any more demonetized anyway, can we? For doing vape stuff. When that settles in, by pulling it through that cotton, you'll get a decent crackle off it as well, because it's not tight up to the coils. That tastes strong today, bloody hell. And that is now your rewick, and I'll break 2. Well, that's how I rig mine to suit my style of vaping, because we've all got slightly different styles, haven't we? That's where I vape that one. It's just prominent enough to go over the top of there, and it's top airflow anyway, so it's not going to get gowled up, is it? Sometimes when you've done that, because you've just wet the coils, haven't you? And you'll think, oh, it's I ain't put enough in. Kaplop, how you doing? I ain't put enough in. I ain't put enough cotton in, but if you just leave it to settle down, especially if you do it just before you go to bed, you get the next morning, it's perfect. That's how I like to wick them, so it sounds like that. Yeah, obviously this video will be uploaded onto the thing, so if you just go back and do it again. But have a look at Net Vapor as well. He explained it pretty well. And sometimes when you get that gurgling as well, if you've put a bit too much on to wet the cotton, you'll get that little bit of a gurgling. If you just turn it upside down and tap it on a tissue, that extra bit will come out. And if it don't clear after that, you have to have another go, but just keep going while you get going. Eventually you should get to sound like that. That's basically how he said to do it, and I think it's about the same. But the most important bit is getting it just to the bottom of that juice well. If you get too much cotton and it comes down over the side of the thing, that's when it's dry hits. And if you don't get it to the bottom of that juice well, that's when it leaks. Can't stay. Had to stop it and say hello, though. Hello. It's good, yeah. Yeah, so I have a different channel now. I do walking videos. If you want to have a look at it. If you don't, fair enough. But I go walking about. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm a bit, since I stopped doing this, I'm a bit thinner in the gills. And the other week, well, 2nd of June, we walked 18 miles to raise money for that cancer charity that helped my daughter out for a start. So that's where I've been. I'm more into, obviously with this job, it got that ridiculous where you're trying to put something up and they're putting it behind the age gate all the time and nobody was watching your stuff. Then I got demonetized and that sort of demoralized me, to be really honest. And I just thought, oh, well, you can have it then. We'll not bother anymore. And that's the way it's sort of gone, really. So obviously I'm still in touch with Bill. I've still got Bill on my Facebook Messenger and we chat most days. But you'll probably see I'm into sort of, oh, you can't, can you see him? Into this type of thing nowadays. I've got this one. This is the Action 4 from DJI. And I've got the Osmo Pocket 3 and I just wander about and film nature and stuff like that. I really enjoy it, and I say the health benefits are a lot better as well. But that's what I do. I'm about between 2.5 and 3 stone lighter than what I was in December. Oh, yeah. Yeah, still at it. I had a company send some stuff out to review, so I've uploaded to Amazon as well. Amazon videos on Amazon for a couple of power packs for the back of your phones and that. But yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I really do enjoy doing YouTube, but I just thought, well, we're going to do something completely different. And you ain't got to do age gate stuff and declare this and declare that. It's a lot easier if they don't want you to put this type of content up on YouTube. It's just a lot easier not to do it. I do long Xmas walks. Well, you're still doing it? No, it's not. For the health benefits. Yeah. 80 mile. Yeah, Mablethorpe to Skegness. That's what we did. I started off. I went in. I thought, well, where are you going to go for a walk? You know, obviously, I wasn't very confident with. Yeah. Well, it's not quite 3 stone. Between 2.5 and 3 stone. I can't exactly remember what it was. I was something in the region of 22 stone, and I had like a line of fat round the bottom end of my stomach, which I think basically was booze. I'd hit the booze a bit with my daughter not being very well. I'd got stuck into the old strong lagers and whiskey and stuff like that. I ended up being a bit of a drunk, to be honest. And I found out I got massive high blood pressure with all the booze. Well, just life as well, just life in general, I suppose, when you get a bit older. And So, I wasn't very confident at being outside talking into a microphone. I'd always sort of done it in here. So I went to find remote places. Well, I love seaside resorts. I love, sea views, that type of thing. So I thought it was the obvious place. I love Mablethorpe, so I just went there. Started recording with this Osmo Pocket 3, and then I got eventually, so I did 3 miles and then 3 miles back to the car. So I did Mablethorpe to Sutton-on-Sea, went back, did Sutton-on-Sea to wherever, and then it just carried on down. And then we come up with this idea. I thought, well, why not put something back in? It's something to work towards. I'll do something for charity. Well, it raised £780. Me and my granddaughter both did it. I walked, it was 2nd of June, started off in Mablethorpe and finished up just at Skegness Pier, which from what we can work out was 18 miles. And, oh, God, I was knackered. I thought my feet were going to fall off, to be honest. And the next day I was actually, it made me technically ill. I thought, I'm not going to make work. I can't move my legs. I couldn't move out. Anyway, I went to work and I'm thinking, obviously I drive a cab for a living. I'm thinking, Christ, I hope nobody comes to get any shopping in. And I was getting out and trying to walk to put the shopping in the boot and nearly falling over because I had that much pain in my ankles and that. But I got up the next day and that pain had gone away. But it was my hips the next day. And then I got up on the 3rd day and I was nearly about right, to be honest. So I did that. And I say, we got all the money and it was £780. Which they've sent me an email saying thank you very much and stuff like that. And I just thought it was something to work towards because obviously, but I ain't actually had an alcoholic drink now since the 13th of November last year. Not touched one drop. I don't drink out of glasses or anything. It was just the way I did it. I've got some pears that my daughter bought me for Christmas, which are steeped in alcohol, and I won't even touch them. I don't. You know what I mean? If I pour my wife a glass of wine and I get a drip on my hand, I don't even lick it off. I don't do anything with it at all. I've not touched it. I'm not really interested in it now either. But it's surprising how these things get hold of you when you're a bit down in the dumps anyway. I've always said though, if you like a drink, if life goes to shit, then you'll drink a lot more, won't you? But now it's not for me. I've had my first expo with no alcohol. I've just done 2 weeks in Spain with no alcohol. First time I've ever been on holiday as an adult, not drunk any alcohol whatsoever. Makes sense. It takes roughly 48 hours to repair the micro damage in the muscle when working out. So 3 days for everything settling. Yeah. I didn't think that was too bad because I used to get stiff. I got to the stage where I was that heavy. I used to get out of breath walking up the stairs. And if I walked, the Morrison's is 500 yards away from here. And if I walked to Morrison's and back, I was physically tired. And, I'd have leg ache the next day. That's how unfit I was. Whereas now, 18 miles was too far, really. Far too far for somebody of my fitness level. And it was a bit of a big thing, but 2 or 3 miles. I'll do 2 or 3 miles, and then 2 or 3 miles back, and I'll have a bit of stiffness in my ankles and that night. But the next morning when I get up, I don't feel like I've had it, and obviously it releases all the endorphins into your brain, and you just feel that you could take the world on. I'm a lot sort of mentally stronger as well because booze just destroys everything really. If you've got something going on anyway, and then you start supping, it just has a double effect of being twice as shit, if you know what I mean. It doesn't do you any good. It makes you ill. And it makes you not able to deal with what you're doing. So, for me personally, it works a treat. But one thing I have done is, I'm in very, very few Facebook groups now, because if you don't watch it in the morning, you found out, everybody struggles in life and now they're not doing very well and stuff like that. Well, I don't need to know how they're not doing very well. It's up to them to sort their problems out, and I'll sort mine out. So I don't tend to, hang around negativity or anything like that. I don't. If there's any vape drama, I avoid it like the plague. I'm not interested in it. It doesn't matter. Just let everybody get on with it. Because if you don't watch it, I was saying on my other channel the other day, I was looking back at my music collection. Well, a lot of my music collection, I have an app called Deezer, which is a Dutch thing. I don't know if anybody else has ever heard of it. I got onto it years ago. I have a family plan and I pay for most of the bloody family, to be honest. And most of, as you get back and further back, most of it is depressing stuff that I've obviously downloaded late at night when I've been drinking, watching miserable films and stuff like that. And you can see the place that your head's at when you actually downloaded it. And you listen to it now and you think, why on earth would I ever listen to that? It's just miserable. To be able to knock the booze on the head like that is impressive. Having said that, I only have a couple of whiskies at the weekend. There you go. See, I never drank while I was 25 years old. And then I got a second job, which meant that we finally had some money because we had kids when we were kids. So I'd been married since my 18th birthday. So I had a little bit of money and I used to go to the pub, and I found out, I was really into drinking. So I used to do it twice a week. For years and years and years, I did it twice a week. Then I went self-employed. And when I was employed, I used to do it once a week. But when I went self-employed, I used to be able to do it twice a week because there's a bit more money about. And then I've got a son with severe mental health problems. He's schizophrenic through drug addiction. And I found myself, we had a lot of stress on with that and the people that were surrounding him, people coming around for money and all that. And I found I drank more then. So it gradually went on. So when I did have a drink, it would be an extreme binge drink. But then obviously when Lou got ill, it just took over really, to be honest. I'd buy a special brew. Nothing was ever strong enough. I'd buy 8-9% lager. And, you'd think, you'd just have a couple of them. I'd have 4. And then in the end, it got so I would drink that and chase it down with Billy Jack Daniels and all sorts of things. I got to the stage where, I wasn't really fit to be about, to be honest. And my wife said to me one day, she said, if you're carrying like that, you'll be dead. And I'd got to the point where I was like, well, there's worse things. She said, one day she said to me, well, if you go, and obviously Louise has got terminal cancer and Louise goes, she said, I've got nobody. And I never even thought of it like that. I just thought of my own self. And then I say, it always a bit of a quick thing that happened. On my 40th wedding anniversary, I drank all day. And then the next day, I got so drunk at night, I was nearly falling over, going to the loo, stood up, going for a pee. And then I found out the next day I got high blood pressure. So I didn't drink until I got the appointment for the blood pressure thing. And it was just, I got the tablets and they said, moderate your alcohol. I thought, well, I've gone past that. And I thought, well, I'll try and not have a drink for a week while I get settled into these tablets. And it went on. First month was a bit different, but first thing you notice is when you wake up in the morning, you don't feel rough. And so the depression part of it has all but disappeared, if you know. Obviously, you get a bit sad some days when you've got a child with a terminal illness. But it was a bit like if you listen to Mike Haynes when he was telling the story of his brother David getting murdered in the desert. He said instead of turning it into a negative, he turned it into a positive, and he went on and helped found the cause that he's been fighting for ever since. I mean, he's had some rough health just recently, but there's two ways you can do it. You can either go down. I mean, he said he wanted to go across to Syria and shoot somebody, and he said obviously physically couldn't, and legally he couldn't. So he turned it into the the name's gone out of my head, but they've saved no end of kids from radicalisation, and he's turned his brother's death into a positive, or he's took some positive from his brother's death rather than just sitting there all his life drinking himself to death or whatever, or being murderous or whatever. Yeah, it probably did. But if you imagine the amount of booze I was stopping, that was written no wonder I got high blood pressure. Christ. Lowen Brown, yeah. I was that special brew for me birth, because my birthday just happens to be on my wedding anniversary. My wife, I said, what do you want for your birthday? So I want a case of OJ, which is it's not Orange Boom, it's a Belgian beer. It's called OJ, and it comes in a blue can. And the idea is in Belgium is you'll have 9% beer and you'll sip it all night. And you'll sit and talk to your friends, and then you'll go home and you'll be just as mellow as what they are, even though they've had 10 pints of 4%, if you know what I mean. And I said, I'll have a crate of that. So and I only had one can out of it, and I've given the rest of it away, to be honest. I think there's a few cans left. But I've been, but it makes you sort of think, because, blokes that drink, you think, I'll give them 4 cans of this. And you go, do you want 4 cans of this? It's 8.5%. And they go, oh no, it's too strong for me. And the struggle I've had to try and give it away, it just to show you that my head was in a different place away there. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, everybody goes on about the mental health nowadays, but to be honest, it's been a positive move for my mental health as well, because I was cracking up. That's basically. I think after years and years and years of putting up with drug dealers and mental health services ringing up 20 times a week, and my son doing just things that people with mental health and addiction problems do, I think and then obviously Lou getting poorly, I think I'd finally cracked up, to be honest. I finally lost the plot. And I was just on the. I think that's just what it was. There's only so much people can take, isn't there? But my wife's never got drunk. She has a couple of glasses of wine a week, and that's all she's ever had. She doesn't do anything to excess, really. Only nag at me. But that's life, isn't it? I say, I'm a lot. I've got the tools to deal with it now because I've got my head back. The only thing you have to watch out for is odd people will say, well, you'll be all right now, be able to have a couple of pints. And I don't feel that, especially at this, I think I've done really well getting to 8 months, and I'm not going to start having a couple of pints because I don't think it'll work out. I mean, Christmas Day was the first Christmas I ain't drank since time immemorial. And I thought, I'll go get some low alcohol beer. Then or no alcohol beer. And when everybody's doing it, I'll just have one of them. I thought, I'll just get 8 cans. That'll be all right. And I thought, well, that's the mentality you've got into. You know what I mean? It's not like go out and get 4. It's go out and get 8 or go and get 1. It's, you're going to do it just the same as what you were doing it before you stop. So I thought, no, not bother. So I'll just drink diet sodas. And when I went to the expo, I'd been drinking Diet Coke for most of the day. And I was with John, vaping. He changes his bloody name that often. I just know him as John because he's my mate. But vaping, ginger vaping god. Let's call him that for once. The ginger vape god, anyway. And I come back in. I said, yeah. I said, I don't want Diet Coke though. See what else they've got. If there's a sugar-free something, or because I don't like thick pop. And anyway, when I come in, he'd done a soda water and blackcurrant, and I love it. And I buy soda water now from Lidl's at 55p for a big bottle, and I just mix it up with Vimto or something. And I love that. I say the bonus is you get up the next morning, you don't feel like you're going to die. Anyway, that's enough about me. I say there is a lot of people that just drink normally for all their life and never have a problem. You know what I mean? But whether mine had been. Hello, Paul. How you doing, mate? Are you all right? I was just showing these fine people on this Aspire. I've built that version of that tank, so now I've got 2, and I put it on there because it looks quite cool, doesn't it? How cool's that? Driving, can't abuse anyone, sorry. Maybe you've tried to do it where you shout down the microphone and it all comes out wrong. I duck in seat you, pardon? No, I fucking hate you. Oh, that's it. I've got some of Dred's custard in here, and it's nice, that custard. I've got their mango as well, that's nice. But this, look at this, for a top quality label, available from B&M at £7.50. 70/30, 4.2. Oh, that's why I put a bit too much nick in that, so I've made it to 4.2 milligram. That's why it's a bit toasty. But is it Ryan? What's on the Saturday show sometimes? It comes from them. There's Dred's mango and Dred's custard. They come as a one shot. You just drop them in and then fill them up. And they're not expensive. Yeah, it's nice, yeah. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I do like mango. I've got some. Nick sent me out years ago. Nick sent me out some mullenberries, loads and loads of mullenberry concentrates, and some of them were one shots. And I mixed the chilled mango up, and the first couple of days I thought, oh, this isn't too bad. And then I've got, so I don't really like it now. But that Dreads mango is good. I do like mango. There's one that once won the vape show, and everybody hated him because Chris and Thingy should have won it. It was a complete fix. And but I actually like that. Dreads berry mush. I ain't tried that. I've been vaping. That's just a Malibu concentrate from them. Oh, Malibu Pina Colada. That's what it is. And I just put that in at 8%. That's Mullenberry. And there's another one, which is honeyberry. Now, when you walk in back in the room when you've been vaping, it smells like somebody's had a fag. It's not the best smelling stuff in the world because honey never is it? But I love it. I absolutely love it. And I've only got one bottle of it, so I'm going to have to see if I can find out what honey it is and then just mix some honey and berries up and see if I can get some at somewhere near. But that's made a nice tank, that. I gave myself a bit of a drowning with the other one. And then when I took the top off, I realised I'd got the cotton too proud. And as I screwed the tank on, it moved the cotton in the juice well. So every time you filled it up, you just ended up with a lap full of it. And I thought, Christ, what have I done here? But as soon as I took it off, I realised what I'd done. I've got a flat battery. Try again. No, I didn't press it hard enough. But that's at about 35 watts in there with that one of them 0.3 things. It's nice. Drip tip's a bit weird, but it's all right, isn't it? But what a beautiful mod. That was a gift. Looks nice, doesn't it? Tidy. When it come, I thought, I don't know what that is. Is it a mech or something? And then when you Google it, you have to pull this thing down at the front, and then all your buttons are in there. Never seen one before in my life. I was going to say I don't think I own another Aspire mod, but no, I don't, because these are E-Leaf, aren't they? Anyway, I'm going to have to end it there because I've just realised it's nearly 2:30 and I'm supposed to be at work. I used to go to work at 2. I only fired it up for 20 minutes just to see if anybody was about. And we've all got chatting, which has been absolutely lovely, but it's got to nearly what time is it? 2:20. So my boss will be sacking me even though I work for myself. Are you struggling to get away from the 5 pawns black flag rise? I've bought a couple of bottles of 5 pawns. I can't think which ones they are. One's salted caramel. I don't even know where they'll be. It'll take me 20 minutes to dig them out. One's a salted caramel, and I can't remember what the other one is. And there's one of them in particular. Every time I vape it, she comes in and goes, "Oh no, not that." So that's become a bit of a thing. So it's just in the drawer with all the other stuff. I've got gallons of it in there. That's one thing we're reviewing. People used to send 4 or 5 bottles out at a time, and 6 and 8 bottles out at a time, and you end up with just that much of it. You're a bit overstacked. Anyway, I better go. Lovely to see you all. I ain't got an outro because I ain't got any music. I didn't even make an outro or an intro up for it. I just thought I'll just click go live, so it'll just be like a bye-bye thing. So lovely to speak to you all again. I might pop back on again another day and have another chat. But just remember, Marlborough, you're going to die anyway, regardless of what the American government tells you. The 95% worse for you